My friend Robin, could you explain to our stakeholders and to the wider who would watch this video what the vision and the dream of our project?
The idea will be, if we can create a center that does two things: unifies Africa to each other so that people in Africa know each other's heritage, and to connect the diaspora to Africa and its heritage. So you've got a situation where much of Africa's history and heritage has been stolen, destroyed, left hidden, neglected or forgotten. Our job is to put it together. Now, a lot of the work has been done, but the work has been done in a fragmented way. A book over here, a paper over here, a documentary over here, an artifact in a different country even. The idea of putting it together so that you get a sense of real heritage and wealth of culture, that hasn't really happened. And so the idea would be to create a center where that can happen. Now, when you've got countries that have been through famines and wars and other forms of destruction, history and heritage is the last thing that's on their minds. The first thing is security. Then after that, it's about feeding people. Then after that, it's about clothing, then creating jobs, and so on, so on, and so forth. Heritage is at the bottom of that. So what happens is there's a lot of African heritage and a lot of black heritage in the African diaspora that a lot of people in Africa don't know anything about, and a lot of people in the diaspora don't know anything about. And so the idea is to put that together in one place. And then there's logical reasons why that should be in Ethiopia. Ethiopia does have, in particular, a great 20th century history in being a center of, at one time, Haile Selassie was the go-to person to anything in Africa, because the rest of Africa, there wasn't any government that you could speak of, because the whole place had been colonized.
Yes, true.
So when you get, for example, Nelson Mandela fighting the anti-apartheid struggle, he went to Haile Selassie. And so there is a big reason why Ethiopia would be the country. And the idea will be putting content in one place. So can we find ways of replicating artifacts, if we can, buy artifacts, manuscripts, all forms of history and heritage from all over Africa, so it's in one place. And this is essentially what the vision is. You see, what you'll get is people in Africa very often know the history of their own country. Very rarely do they know the history of any other African country. And so this will connect people to their neighbors. It will connect people in the motherland to people in the diaspora, and vice versa. Similarly, one of the big reasons in America why a lot of African Americans are turning their backs on Africa is you've got people from Africa going to America and disrespecting the African American struggle because they don't know the African American struggle. No one ever showed them, nobody ever taught them. Again, that's something that needs to be in this global Black History and Heritage Education Center. So essentially, the idea is to be the leading center of Black history, heritage, and education in Africa.